Nationalism portrays patriotism in its most rightful way. Nationalists seek the betterment of their country without the help of any other nation or country. This betterment includes having an independent economy where no outside threat is bound to corrupt it. Also, nationalism has led to currency independence where a country has overall power over its economy. This phenomenon has also led to availability of job opportunities for the citizens of the nation itself, which as a result decrease poverty too. What my opponents here fail to grasp and understand is that globalization is a double-edged weapon, with the negative edge being more dominant than the positive one. Globalization may have caused a number of nations their economic status to improve, but it's also formed a wide interconnected web where it can collapse at any moment just because one major part of it does. This is exemplified in the 2008 World Economic Crisis. It starts with America and ends up with the whole world's economy crumbling to pieces. And to today, we're still suffering from this economic crisis. In addition, the globalized economy claims that its foundation is built on the idea that it will seek the enhancement of the world's economy and treat it as a single most important unit and with its best interest at heart. Well, this is very evident, especially in the fact that developed countries are using underdeveloped countries to produce their merchandise at very low cost. In one way or another, we can actually see that globalization is a hypocritical cover-up for nationalism. This trend has also subtly supported illegal trade of guns, weapons, and drugs, and even humans, alongside this free trade of goods and services between nations. Besides this, globalization has increased the wealth gap between privileged and underprivileged countries. In addition, globalization encouraged industrialization, which meant more cutting down of trees and the destruction of natural ecosystems to build up man-made facilities to increase a country's productivity. And while one of global warming's biggest contributors is deforestation. So basically, globalization is indirectly encouraging the extinction of our own human race through global warming. And I doubt any of you would want to have their great-grandchildren extinct by the time because of globalization. Widespread famines and floods, and as a result, catastrophic consequences are to follow. I truly believe that our existence is much more important than carrying out and conducting theories that may or may not work. Furthermore, if globalization continues, we will be remembered throughout the human history, that is, if we don't get extinct, as self-indulgent, self-sighted, and tremendously destructive. Not a very pretty reputation, if you ask me. So the question here is, do we want to be called that? Do we want to be known as that? I need the answer to that question too.
As they say, nationalism closes the economy. Well, we look at what this causes no improvement in lifestyle. We're going to stay national. We support nationalism. We support closing your economy. We support not improving. We support not improving, not reducing everything. Without globalization, nations around the world won't have the machines they have today to produce what they produce now. without globalization, we wouldn't have all the scientific breakthroughs we have today. Because the scientific breakthroughs do not come from one scientist from one nation. It comes from several scientists come together from several nations for the greater good. No technology removes some jobs, as they say, from certain fields. They offer different jobs in other fields as well. And one thing that I'm really surprised about is that despite all the advantages and benefits of the world of globalization, the world economy, the opposing team still say that the disadvantages of globalization are dominant to its advantages. And one thing about the financial crisis, yes, it happened. Everyone got affected by it, but instead of looking at the problem, look at the solution. The world economy together, they came together to solve it. And this is applied in the environment as well. Yes, we may be destroying our environment, but thanks to globalization, thanks to everyone sharing their ideas, everyone is now more aware. Everyone is now taking action towards saving the environment. Everyone is taking action towards climate change. And finally, the World Expo. We all know about it. We all hear about it. It's one huge example of globalization, as to say. Nations come together. They spread ideas. They come up with solutions to our problems. If we support nationalism, and if every country is a nationalistic country, we wouldn't have the World Expo. We wouldn't have solutions for problems that occur. Thank you very much.
Secretary for the Policy Parangkasal. Please go.
So what differentiates one nation from another is its distinctive values and beliefs that makes up a unique culture. Nationalism is an invisible border that draws its differentiation. Every human soul lies an instinct that's filled with traditions, with values, and richness. The sense of belonging that a person feels towards his or her country is like no other feeling. Holding onto your heritage, to your culture, and to your language just proves how much you're devoted and dedicated to your country. It shows how you're standing strong against the risk of losing your identity. Nationalism offers many advantages that globalization certainly won't possess. For example, it unites the nation as a whole. This causes people to think of others as citizens. Also, nationalism encourages peace in a country, so the national anthem, the national flag, any national symbol are usually regarded as sacred. Of course, it offers a sense of belonging, it offers safety, it enhances teamwork, and it creates a distinctive identity that's fed with richness, with values, and of course, it stimulates security. And it makes the people of the nation stick to their culture rather than just throwing it away. For instance, the French people are famously known for their pride in their language. So even if they know more than one language, they won't allow any language to diminish their own. Unfortunately, with the aggressive attack of globalization on nations, people have lost their heritage, they lost their language, their culture. In other words, one who lost his culture, lost his identity. For example, we have, because of the strong effect of the Western culture on Arabs, we have lost our identity in exchange of new traditions, new culture, new language that don't even belong to us. And powerful countries have used globalization as means of colonizing.
unity. And more importantly, that we have lost our cultural identity. The way I see it, the way the world should see it, is that we are trying to modify our own cultures by opening up to other cultures from other parts of the globe, therefore to improve our own world. They talk about the culture, they talk about the environment. Well, I assume if there were no globalization, we wouldn't have known about these campaigns. God said in his own book, "O mankind, we have indeed created you from one man and one woman, and have made you into various nations and tribes, so that you may know one another." Are you now standing against God?
Countries together, all over the world, economically, politically, socially, technologically, and ecologically. Therefore, globalization enables multiple countries to benefit from one single organization. Moreover, globalization has decreased the rates of poverty all over the world. So without the process of globalization, most poor countries wouldn't have received aid for its people. Also, globalization gives us the opportunity to learn and know more about cultures, leaving our own culture unaffected at the same time. And as Kofi Annan, the Secretary General of the United Nations, said, arguing against globalization is like arguing